Have you ever experienced a profound shift in your life, as though you were waking up to a completely new understanding of yourself and the world around you? Spiritual awakening is not a linear path. It's a deeply personal journey that more closely resembles a spiral, like DNA. Some of us revisit certain stages repeatedly, others skip through them, and each path is uniquely crafted for the individual experiencing it. Yet, despite these differences, there are universal themes that connect us all. In this video, we're going to explore the 5 key stages of spiritual awakening. Our goal is to present them in a clear and accessible way, offering insights into each stage and helping you recognize where you might find yourself on this transformative path. At the first stage of spiritual awakening, a person often finds themselves entirely immersed in the realm of the ego. In this state, thoughts and emotions govern behavior, and there's very little conscious awareness separating the self from these mental and emotional processes. The individual identifies so deeply with their inner dialogue and feelings that they believe them to be an essential and inseparable part of who they are. The ego has a firm hold in this phase, leaving little space between the person and their subjective experience. As a result, people tend to react to life rather than shape it with intention. They may feel as though they lack control, which often leads to defensive behavior, frustration, or negativity. Life appears to happen to them, reinforcing a narrative rooted in powerlessness and unresolved trauma. During this phase, it becomes difficult to truly see others, as all perceptions are filtered through personal projections and past experiences. This distorted lens makes genuine connection challenging and often results in a skewed interpretation of the world. This stage of unconsciousness is marked by a deep enmeshment with the ego, blurring the boundary between self and the external world. But this is also where the awakening begins. The realization that there's something beyond the ego marks the first step toward conscious evolution and a deeper connection to the essence of existence. As one continues on the path, they often encounter a powerful and disorienting stage known as ego death. In this phase, the identity that was once built on personal labels, roles, and belief systems begins to unravel. The ego, this constructed self-image that includes everything from gender, age, and cultural identity to religious beliefs and social roles, starts to dissolve. Ego death is not a physical experience, but rather a psychological and spiritual one. The person begins to see that the story they've been telling themselves for years about who they are and what life is no longer holds true. Ideas about reality, God, and even one's own worth begin to fall away, leaving behind a sense of emptiness or detachment. From that emptiness, however, something extraordinary begins to emerge. The observer. This is the part of us that silently watches, that has always been present but obscured by the noise of the ego. Where once the person was fully identified with thoughts and feelings, they now begin to understand that they are the awareness behind those experiences. This shift creates a separation between the ego and the true self. One realizes that the ego is not their essence, but a temporary construct shaped by society, family, and personal history. This understanding marks a turning point, paving the way for a deeper exploration into consciousness and the mystery of existence. Following ego death, the spiritual seeker often enters a phase of searching. This is the quest for truth, a longing to understand the deeper meaning of life, self, and the universe. It's a time of profound curiosity, driven by questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is the nature of reality? During this phase, individuals often immerse themselves in spiritual literature, teachings, videos, and discussions. They seek out wisdom from various traditions, often exploring different perspectives in an effort to make sense of their expanding awareness. Practices like meditation, contemplation, prayer, or energy work may become central to daily life. But this stage isn't just about intellectual knowledge, it's about resonance. The information that clicks, that brings a sense of lightness or emotional release, is what propels the seeker forward. Each new insight feels like a step closer to something real, something authentic and soulful. In this phase, spiritual practice becomes more consistent, and the thirst for knowledge transforms into a desire for inner experience and integration. The search becomes not just about learning, but about being. Eventually, the search leads to a powerful turning point, the emergence of the authentic self. In this stage, the individual can no longer pretend to be anything other than who they truly are. Old habits of people-pleasing, hiding behind societal roles, or conforming to outdated expectations begin to fall away. The person feels a strong pull toward honesty and alignment. It becomes increasingly uncomfortable to suppress their voice or follow a path that doesn't resonate. In many ways, this is a return to the essence of the self that existed before the world imposed its ideas, similar to the clarity and authenticity found in early childhood. This stage is often accompanied by major life shifts. Careers, relationships, and living situations may be re-evaluated or released entirely if they no longer reflect the evolving truth within. There's a natural shedding of what no longer fits. Internally, deep emotional and psychological healing begins. Old wounds resurface, not to torment, but to be seen, felt, and finally released. The body may undergo energetic shifts, with symptoms like heightened sensitivity, vivid dreams, or spiritual experiences becoming more common. The individual becomes increasingly attuned to the subtle energies of life and begins to experience themselves as a multidimensional being. This is not about perfection, it's about alignment with truth. In the final stage of spiritual awakening, individuals enter a life of alignment. Here, the authentic self is not only known but fully embodied, and life is lived in harmony with the soul's purpose. There is a profound integration of mind, body, and spirit. The individual practices self-love with depth and sincerity, embracing imperfections and limitations without judgment. They become their own source of strength, giving themselves the care and support they may not have received in the past. This self-compassion extends outward into the world. Relationships are approached with empathy and understanding. There is an awareness that everyone is on their own journey, and with that awareness comes forgiveness, not just for others, but for the self. The connection to life expands. Nature, animals, the elements, even inanimate objects, are recognized as part of a vast web of consciousness. This isn't a romantic ideal, but a lived experience of unity. Importantly, this alignment doesn't ignore the darkness in the world. It embraces it with wisdom, understanding that all aspects, light and shadow, contribute to the fullness of human life. If this video resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who may benefit. Subscribe and leave a comment below with your thoughts or where you are on your journey. And until next time, awaken, ascend, become